What's up, guys? Matco Michael's outside, so you know he's got that good stuff. Hopefully he's got something new this week, so let's go take a look and see what he's got. Come on. $1,000 worth of free tools. And a good looking box.
Yeah, that's the copper vein.
That's pretty. I like it.
On this one, it's not really the $1,000 worth of free tools. You can get it plus the tools for $23 a week. That's what makes that one 23 instead of 15. I do the deal on the toolboxes to where you can get them for $1,000 worth of free tools, but this one here, it's like a. You remember we used to do the bundle deals?
Yeah.
That's what this one is. I just don't have nowhere to open it up. It doesn't fit back here on the back wall like the other ones did. So this one I have to do with signage. I got to find a good way to display the tools and stuff. Right now I've got it to where they can just pick out what they want.
Man, the guy can't go wrong with that. 23 bucks.
23 bucks for the cart plus $1,000 worth of free tools, which I've said it many times. If you pick your tools wisely, they can be a bunch.
Yeah.
If you get on here and start going for the best impact there is, the best air hammer there is, well, you just spent your $1,000.
That's
I mean,
true.
you can spend it with as little as one tool, or you can get many.
Yep.
But usually the people buying these carts are techs starting out. I mean, experienced techs do add on to their boxes by buying carts and stuff, but most of the time it's somebody just starting out, and you don't need that big right all at once. I mean, if that's what you want, go for it.
True. That's true. Well, man, that's a good deal for somebody to be able to, if you just need a cart, 15 bucks a week, or if you need.
Well, I've got a lot of people. Well, in our area, we got Northeast that does the diesel class and stuff like that.
Right.
I've got a lot of people that's coming out of that class, and I've got a lot of people that didn't go to that class, just brand new into shops. I bet we've had 4 or 5 new techs this week. It's like, hey, I'm a new tech, just starting out.
Yep.
I need to get this and this, and it's like, okay, well, that's good. That's your deal right there. $23 a week, so it's not breaking your bank. You get what you need to start out with, and then you can add to it. You can always upgrade.
True. That's right.
It's a lot harder to go back. Like, if you buy the biggest box there is, it's a lot harder to go back than it is to upgrade. It's usually a lot easier to upgrade.
I'll say you got a big green sign up here that says mega sale.
Mega sale, yeah, we're doing a mega sale the next couple of weeks. Well, until the stuff is gone. I got some stuff on sale, so we're
Wrenches and
yeah, we've got some wrenches on there.
heel bars.
We had some plier sets that was on sale. Had some swivel sockets. We took some stuff that we've had at the last couple of sales meeting, put it all on a table, and put some on underneath the table, and put some on the promotion shelf. And
Dang, man, you got plenty of creepers under there.
yeah, there's actually creepers hid all around the truck, so that's not all of them.
Cool.
We've got one in between this box. I think we've got 2 in between that box, and I think we've got some under our carport. I'm not sure. We got plenty of creepers. They were on sale, and we took advantage of it, which, as you can see, we've got a whole lot of Silver Eagle kits that come in.
Yep.
We've got Silver Eagle kits against the back wall. We've got enough. We thought we was picking up a toolbox yesterday, and when we got there, to our surprise, it was only a cart. But when our toolbox finally does come in, I think they told us no later than next Friday. I don't know where I'm going to put everything, but we'll just have to put signs to open drawers on toolboxes and stuff, because we're trying to keep it.
Somebody wants to buy a cart, be like, all right, give me about 45 minutes to unload this thing.
Which we always get everything in it comes for free, right? Well, it can. I mean,
If you got enough money, it can.
We can do a deal.
You'll sell them the whole truck, won't you?
That's right. Yeah, I'll unload the whole truck.
Leave the truck with them. Just give them the keys.
Yeah.
Well,
the right price, man. They can drive away in it. That's
it.
They make these things every day.
I don't know. You'd be like Joe. You'd be sitting there just posting pictures of Bench-Made knives on Instagram because you're still waiting on your truck.
Yeah, but I'm happy for Joe. He's going to get a good truck. He's going to get one that is going to take him through. So if I was him, I'd wait a little while to upgrade to a different truck. I mean, think he's getting it in the middle of September, and we're almost September anyway, so.
Yeah. He's a lot better off.
He's going to be like me. He's going to be unloading the truck twice. Normally they say you only unload a tool truck twice in your life, and that's when you get in and you get out. Well, I've already done it twice, so, you know, it is what it is.
That sucks. They ought to know a tool truck ain't going to last forever if you plan on staying in the business.
It don't, and they know that. They tell you to always expect a tool truck payment.
Mm-hmm.
So, where we all are like, okay, we got this much longer on the tool truck payment. They're like, no, keep that on there.
Well, what you have to do is hope. Let's say you finance it for 6 years. You hope it'll last 8 years, where you get 2 years of.
Right.
But during that 2 years, what you probably should do is put that truck payment in a savings account or something, and that way when it does quit, like, hey, I've got a really good down payment to put down, and that's just going to cut it off of the next one.
Yeah, well, I've seen distributors out there that stayed in their truck for 15, 20 years, but it's constant maintenance. I mean, you're going to end up replacing the engine at some point.
Yeah.
I've got some competition that's had to do that in a different area. He ended up buying another guy's tool truck just for the engine. I don't know why he did that, but still, he wanted to keep his truck, so he did that. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to. We've had distributors had to put transmissions in them and had to put engines in them, and you got to make that call. Is it worth putting an engine and transmission in, or is it worth just getting another truck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like a big truck. Your truck, if it's not running, you're not making money.
If it's not running, you're not making no money. You got to count downtime in.
You got to keep it on it. So.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to sell a bunch of tools when you don't have a truck.
Exactly right. Joe's a living proof of that. Like trying to drive around in a little Nissan with a trunk full of.
At this
tools.
point, I think if I was him, I'd done traded that thing in and got me something.
I know I would have.
I mean, I'm not talking bad about the guy, but at this point, how much is it hurting you to not have one?
I think a lot of what hurts him too is he don't have a consistent brand. Like when he first left Cornwell, he said that he was going to pick something like SK or this or that. I believe he would have been money ahead to pick one mainstay company.
So I think the last Matco dealer knows this better than anybody. When you sell a product for so many years and you talk that product up, you believe in that product, and that's why you talk the product up. You're not going to stay in a product if you don't believe in it. So you believe in that product, you stay in that product. When you get out, you can't just switch to, hey, don't buy that.
Yeah.
Buy this. Well, you preach this product for this long, and then when you get out of that product, and it successfully be done, it has been in the past, when you change product, you got to pick up there, start all over again, but you better make sure that that's the product you stay with, because if you keep changing, the main thing people talk about, the reason they buy off tool trucks for warranty, right?
Yeah.
Well, I bought this, well, just you've bought how many Matco tools from me? So if I go out in 2 years, well, there's not a Matco dealer for, another 6, even though that I'm running whatever tool I may be running. Well, you can't come to me to warranty those because I'm not a Matco dealer. There's not another Matco dealer. So what are you going to do? You're going to say that.
Well, I actually say the reason why you buy tool truck tools is for the guy driving a tool truck.
Well, yeah,
that's the most, because at the end of the day, every bit of this junk's going to break.
Every bit's going to break.
If you use it, eventually it's going to break.
And a lot of it,
it all depends on the guy holding the steering wheel, whether he fixes it, makes it right, or he don't. And I mean, that's exactly what happened to the old Matco guy. Like, that's why you had to needed a ladder to get out of the hole when you walked in.
More than a ladder, I promise you. But the reason I say warranty is because you can always send it in, but just like you say, if that person behind the wheel is not warranting it, then, I mean, I can send it in, but I could have ordered it offline for that matter. If I want to send my stuff in, I could have ordered it offline.
Like if you have a change of heart next month and say, hey, I'm done with Matco, I'm going to start selling Ting Tonk tools or whatever, like that's what I'll buy, because I know if there's a problem, you'll make it right, and that's the important part. So.
But it does go back to trying to be consistent, like what you sell. It's hard to talk it up if you're not consistent.
Well, like Joe, he won't never, he talked about, hey, I'm going to have, I'm going to put SK tools or this or that, and he never stuck with one brand. So, like, let's say you bought GP sockets from him. Next week, if you lose one or break one or whatever, I don't say you're breaking one, but if you lost one, he may not have it on there to get. If you're going to have to order it, why not just order it off the internet, you know?
Yep.
So, anyway, I guess each one can...
Everybody's got their own cup of tea, and how they like it's how they like it.
Yeah.
So, that's the good part about getting in the tool business. It's your business, so...
I didn't expect that rain to be that loud.
Well, it's like when we shot the video for Matco's Expo. You know, it was sleeting that day.
Yeah.
And
it was loud.
So they ended up having to edit the video to have sleet in it the whole time, just to make it sound right. I don't remember it being that loud in my other truck. We was telling somebody that the other day, like, we was having a scream to talk in here. I was like, I don't remember it being that loud. I'm sure it was. It's probably the same box. Well, no, this box ain't, because I had a swing open door, but there's a Zuzu's, like Joe's had a sliding door too, so I'm sure they're very similar in make anyway. This is the new tool we're going to show off this week.
Cool. It's
going to be a low profile serpentine belt tool. I've used pry bars and stuff on serpentine belt, on the tensioners and stuff. Man, that sucks.
It does.
And they got several different, there's all kinds of serpentine belts. I bet I got 3 different types on here now. But the reason that I went ahead and bought these is because you can actually take a regular 3/8 ratchet and use it in your tool. Because all this is basically a 3/8 breaker bar. So when you got, you know, they make the kits that you have to have that special wrench that it comes with.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that wrench is not what you need. Because how many times could you have put this on there with a stubby ratchet and got in there?
Right.
But the bar they sent you is this long, and you're hitting everything in the way.
That's true.
So, you know, you can pick your angle, and that's why I like a ratchet on here rather than this. It comes with this, but they made it to where a ratchet can go on there. Sometimes that's not the right angle. Well, that's not the right angle either.
And there's always something in the way every time.
Yeah, so if you can ratchet and go down, how much easier is that? You just took the game to a whole new level. Because now you only need this
much room. I've got one that's a ratcheted one like that, and on some of the big trucks, you know, there's braces in the way and, you know, stuff like that. So you'll have to ratchet it up, stick a pry bar in there when you get ready to go back down, because you can't just go the opposite direction, you know, so. Yeah,
we actually fought one in my driveway a few weeks ago, and oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever cussed so much in my life. But you let that thing get your finger a couple times, and it'll bring you. It'll make a good man cuss. I promise.
If you don't remember them cuss words, just hang on. They'll come back. Huh?
They'll come back. You know it's bad when it turns in from a one-person job to. And the reason I had to do that is because somebody in the past had used a pry bar and they broke the little thing off. Well, when once it's broke off, there's nothing to grab. Yep. So we're like using a pry bar and trying to, and like you said, there's so many braces and stuff in the way. We're having to use a 2x4 to hold it so we can
Yep.
You know, it was terrible.
Yeah, we've done that kind of stuff. It sucks, man. It sucks.
But that's the kit. It comes with a couple of different. It comes with your inner and outer. You can put a socket on it. You most of the time don't have room for a socket.
Yeah.
That's why they did that, where you can put that on the back or a wrench. Sometimes you can get them on there, but it takes forever to get them off. So, and that's the thing. I never did like having to use these, but on some of them, like the one that we were doing, there wouldn't have been room for a socket if it had been there. It's just that close. You know, it looks good on the engineer's paper, but it makes no logical sense to work on.
That's true.
But I mean, I've talked to engineers in the past, and they'll tell you, we don't design it for you to work on. We design it to last. And it's like, well, I don't think you did either, because it's broke. It's broke.
I wouldn't know about it if it didn't break. Like,
first off, it broke, and I had to fix it. Second of all,
that's what I was telling him. I said, man, don't come at me with that argument, because look, if it didn't break, it wouldn't be in the shop.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
I'd never know about your product. So let's just scratch that argument right there.
They were actually there though. They come down from the factory. We had there was a dash rattle in some Corollas, and the way they wanted us to take the dash out was completely. They wanted us to take it out like it went in at the factory. Well, that's
Yeah, it's
to
hard to
us
do after it's
yeah.
all put together.
You know, I tell you what, you do that, and I'll take it out the way I take it out. I'll have it out in 10 minutes, and you'll be in about 45 minutes. You know, but we ended up getting it out, and that's when we made the comment. You know, why are you making stuff so hard? Well, we make it to last. Well, evidently you did something wrong.
I don't think any company makes anything to last anymore. Now, granted, it is more reliable.
I don't
But
know.
how can you ever justify 1980s? They use steel.
Yeah.
Pretty much on everything. Even the dash. Remember the C10
Yeah.
trucks? Like, you hit your knee on the dashboard of a C10 in a wreck, you break your knee.
Yeah.
Now you hit your knee on the dashboard, you just break the dashboard.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's built to last. It is more reliable.
I don't know that it's so much that they're building it not to last. I think they're trying to build it for a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Because if we did all the steel like we used to, first off, the government's got all the restrictions on the miles per gallon. They're trying to make the cars as light as possible. But another reason, it would cost a fortune. You know, we were talking to somebody the other day. To make something sturdy to last, they have to charge such a high price that nobody can afford it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like Ford, you know, they using plastic pans.
Yeah, that's retarded.
That's stupid. And like the drain plugs that's on like the 3.3s, 3.5s, all that, a little plastic quick. Oh, that's stupid.
You know,
like, it's really stupid. You're putting your whole entire engine in the fate of two little plastic ears.
I had to replace a transpan on a Buick, and it had a plastic transpan right up front, right by the exhaust. And it's like heating and cooling every day, plastic.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? We were talking to a big truck shop yesterday, and they were talking about having to replace a whole fuel line because it was messed up.
Yeah.
Me being me, well, fuel line is one of the things that usually can be repaired. Brake lines never, you're not supposed to repair. Fuel lines you can. Or I guess there's correct ways to repair
brake lines,
but it's almost usually quicker and cheaper and easier
just
to replace
the
it.
whole thing.
But fuel lines, you usually just repair it. So I made the comment, I'm like, well, why can't you just repair it? And they go, oh, well, it's plastic. I don't understand a forged plastic fuel line. I mean, the heating and cooling alone, and they don't even work good on air. Like, that's the main thing that intake leak starts to leak because of the little plastic lines. So I don't know where or who thought it was a good idea to do that, but I think is retarded.
Yep. Everything's made the easier way, you know, instead of
the cheaper, easier way.
Yeah.
And plastic's going to get hot and cool off constantly, and it's going to crack at some point.
But could you imagine if they used, I guess, the materials and work ethics that they did in the 80s on vehicles now?
Oh, it'd be great.
With the technology that we have. Like, a guy could buy a 2020 model, and that'd be it. Like, that's the last vehicle he's going to own.
Well, and you'd have people that would trade in steel because they change their mind about as much as they change their underwear, but that's fine.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, make it to where it lasts. Make it to where that used car lasts. How many used cars are out there on these lots that you buy thinking are good cars, and you realize, nope, they're either, you know, rusted out or this is messed up. And heck, I don't know about everywhere, but our local auto parts stores are not even supposed to clear lights because it's supposed to be.
That's right.
You know, it's supposed to be now banned to clear the lights because people were clearing them and selling them, which almost all good technicians know that if they got a good scanner, they can see the last time the light was cleared. Well, they were finding the light was cleared, say, 20 miles prior, just long enough to get the car sold. So, you know, it's.
Well, what's crazy is they made that law, but you can go to Napa or even all the parts stores here that won't clear your code, and you spend $49 and buy a code reader and clear it yourself.
Clear it yourself.
You know, I thought that was kind of a stupid.
Well, and that, you know,
I mean, it just keeps you from getting it for free cleared. I guess is the.
And I know somebody who rides around with a code reader. That's what they do. They ride around, they clear the code, and they keep going. And I've told them multiple times what that code is and what it means and how to fix it, and it's like, nope, just clear the code. Why even clear it?
If the light's not on, it's not got a problem, man. You know how that is.
Well, my thing is, why clear it? Like, if you know that's what it is, why clear it? Just every once in a while, hook it up. Yep, same code, okay.
Well, like the Envoy we got, you know, it don't have a cat on it anymore. Of course, it's an older vehicle. We're not a mission state, so it don't really matter. But you'll have a check engine light on it.
Yeah.
And hey, don't worry about it. If it ain't knocking and it ain't hot, drive it. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked on vehicles, man, and they've spent $1,500 to $2,000 to fix them. It's like, hey, do you want to spend this extra $30 and get the check engine light off? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's been on forever. It's like, you're already spending this much. Like,
yeah.
It's.
But you know, guys in the South, you don't feel right if your check engine light ain't on.
I was reading something the other day.
That's just how it works. You got to have, you know, either beer cans, Skull cans, or a check engine light on, or you're just not accepted around here.
She's not going to drive it if it's got a check engine light on. It don't matter. If it's got a oil change due soon light on, she's not going to drive it. So I don't get away with that. But
you got to fix that, don't you? Just take the bulb out of it.
Well,
or if it's a digital dash, just fix it where it won't come back on.
Well, I will tell you, I've had people. I read something the other day. It was like black tape fixes all lights, and it's like. Sure.
They come in here all the time. They have electrical tape on the dash. It'll be over the park brake or the, you know, the check engine light or whatever. I'm like, all right then.
I went in a shop the other day that had tape over something, and the customer was in, and they were looking at it. Well, she had run it hot.
Uh-oh.
And they were, you know, basically explaining to her, you know, hey, you run this hot. You know, it's done, and, you know. And she was like, well, why didn't any warning come on? It's, well, it did. You've got tape over it. Well, that light's been on forever. Well, that light means more than just that. Like, you've got tape over. Yeah, when you start taping over lights, you know, that light's not going to change colors when it gets a different code.
So I think every vehicle should have an oil temperature, you know, of course, a fuel gauge. I think they should all have a tach. All should have a speedometer. You know, you need a transmission temp. You know, they should put all of the gauges back on there because, unfortunately, I had a lady do the exact same thing. She come in here and like the car was like clunking. I'm like, ooh, that don't sound good at all. She comes in here and it was in a Crown Vic. And the bad part about it, it was a nice Crown Vic. Not like a ragged out police car refurbished into a civilian car. It was a nice car. And she was a very old lady. And she said, something's wrong with my car. So I pulled the dipstick and it wouldn't even touch him. I was like, uh-oh. So we put 4 quarts in and it just barely got up halfway of the line, so it couldn't have had over a quart and a half probably in it, or whatever, maybe 2 quarts. And she said, well, I don't understand because my little gauge said I had plenty of oil.
Oil pressure.
I was like, okay.
Well, man, I worked on one the other night that it wasn't shifting right. And sure enough, I mean,
transmission fluid out.
Man, it wasn't even touching the stick. It's like, hey, man, you ain't got no transmission fluid. It's like, well, I just had my oil changed at a quick lube, and they marked it good. It's like,
I can't help that.
All I'm telling you is there's no drips.
Yep.
So I know it's not like recent. You know, I'm sure it's under there somewhere. Didn't just eat it. But there's no drips and no transmission fluid. Put it in there, and it drove good. He got lucky. He's really good about calling me first thing when something goes wrong. But just the people checking oil and coolant and transmission fluid these days, which on some cars, granted, you can't. I understand that like Toyota, they went to basically you got to pull the plug out of the pan and see how it runs out.
See, Ford, they quit doing that too, you know, with the transmission.
Yeah, you've lost the dipstick, but if your car has it, check it. Just every once in a while,
don't take but just a second.
Yeah, well, this one you had to pull a 10 millimeter bolt out of it. It was a Nissan, and you pulled the bolt out and you checked it. But even at that, I mean, it don't take 5 minutes to put. I mean, you may lose the 10 millimeter socket in the process just because it's a 10, but once you get done, I mean, but
there's some lazy people in this world because, you know, like I have people come up here, especially in dualies, and it kills me. Like, you know, if you're too lazy to reach in there and check your inside tire, put some of those valve extensions on there. Yeah. It's not that big a deal. Most of the people will come in here, their outside tires will be perfect. Their inside tires will be 15 pounds or even completely flat. And they never even know it. I'm like, you know, you can reach in there and like tap the top of that tire. It's real easy to get to, and
yeah.
If it sounds different from the inside tire to the outside tire, you got something going on there.
Yeah, well, common sense stuff.
And then they get pissed because their tires is, you know, got flat spots in it now, run crazy from being flat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that used to be fun, explaining tires to people. Simple thing about tires that most people don't understand.
yeah.
Well, can't you repair it? Well, no, you burnt the sidewall pretty much in two. Just repair it.
Well, I checked. There's a big truck coming here. It was Monday. He was talking, man, my truck's pulling. There's something bad wrong with my truck. I was like, have you checked your tire pressure? Oh, I check it every day. I was like, okay. He goes, I got that Love's tire pass. I pull up and they do it all automatically, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, let's look at it real quick. Had 140 pounds on one side, 140. On the other side, it was 70. I was like,
Yeah, you're pulling.
That's going to help some of it right there. And then, of course, we leveled it out. I said, just drive it and see if that makes a difference. He come back and said, that's what it was. I said, well, maybe you need to get you a gauge. I said, your gauge may be off if you check it every day. And he knew what I was pointing at, like he ain't really checking it. You know?
No,
he said, yeah, I guess I better have that checked.
Yeah, no, your gauge ain't working. Well, and that's just it. If you rely on somebody else to do the simple stuff, if it's so simple that they think you can do it, sometimes they just check mark. It's so much easier to check mark it than it is to check tire pressure.
That's true.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to get off here. Like always, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like it, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Check the merchandise over here. And click that subscribe button. It's free. Don't cost you a dime. You guys have a great week. Catch you next time.